Thanks for joining. And if you are not on camera, if you could join us on camera, that would be great, especially because this is getting paid to speak. And so if anyone has been a speaker before and knows what it's like to have to talk to a bunch of like black screens, it's not as motivating. So if you're able to join, if you can be on camera, that'd be hugely helpful. And Laura, hey Lucretia, hey Petra Ann, nice to see you. And then Victoria and Bonnie and Mary are here from Crush AJ. As promised, we are running these sessions in partnership with Plutus Foundation here. We have the upcoming summit coming in May. And so if you like the vibes of these, then likely you will like the vibe of coming and joining us in May. And today we are going to be talking about how to speak truth and get paid. Thank you for joining. Would like to, before I completely take over this meeting, introduce Harlan. And so Harlan, if you can just unmute yourself and just say hello and who you are, what Plutus Foundation is, and what would be a fun thing to learn about you today. What is a topic that you love to speak about?
Oh, okay. Nice question. Okay. First of all, hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Harlan Landis. I'm the founder of the Plutus Foundation, and the Plutus Foundation exists to support financial educators, which we which we consider to include content creators, advisors, professionals of all types, to assist them as they find an audience and reach their audience and have an impact on the world. So we have lots of things to support that community, including an award ceremony that's been going on since 2008 now. And summits, we've done virtual summits, we've done in-person events like Plutus Voices, all with the purpose of educating content creators and other financial coaches and educators. And now we're bringing everything together into one big event called the Impact Summit, May 6th through 8th in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know a lot of you have already signed up for that, so I can't wait to see you in person there. And yeah, this has been my passion since 2003 when I first started writing about my own financial journey, dealing with my mistakes that I made back when I was in my teens and early 20s and going from there. Yeah, one thing about me that I like to talk about is my experience in the marching arts, which is a fancy way of saying marching band, drum corps. I studied music education in college, actually, believe it or not. And I love telling my story. It all ties everything together, and that's a really fun thing that I like to share with people. And I'm so excited that Bernadette is here running this session. And the next sessions over the next few weeks as we're leading up to the Impact Summit. I've gotten to know her over the past couple of months, and she's bringing a whole lot of energy to everything that she does, and her experience in building community, building a business around financial coaching has been just amazing. And her love for K-pop is something that is overwhelming for me. I'm so excited that she is working with us and bringing her energy and her expertise to this. But yeah, with that, Bernadette, feel free to take this away.
You know what? That's how you know that I am speaking truth here, because I was going to say that my favorite thing to talk about is K-pop. And the fact that I didn't have to say it and Harlan said it for me shows you that I am very much congruent with what we're talking about today. So I appreciate that. And I'm going to just show on my screen here, I'm going to get the sales pitch out of the way so that we can spend the rest of the time on content and helping you get paid to speak truth. This is a preview into one of the many offerings we have as part of the summit. We realize that to ask you to take 3 days out of your normal busy life to come to a summit and not be clear about what it is that you're going to get out of it is a tall ask. And one of the things that has become very clear to us is that people are craving actual, tangible planning around making money that is aligned to the person that you want to be. And so one of the masterminds that we are going to be doing is the Plutus Voices Speaker Mastermind. And so if you're not familiar, Plutus Voices is another tradition that Harlan has implemented over the last years. We have had a lot of folks who say, I want to become a speaker, I want to be better at speaking, or I want to get paid at speaking, but hasn't had a clear structure around how to do that. And folks like Petra and Lucretia had already signed up. Harlan has already signed up also. He said he's going to be part of the mastermind too.
You will enjoy the Plutus Impact Summit if you are interested in community, if you are interested in collaboration, if you're interested in the fact that a rising tide lifts all boats, if you're interested in figuring out how things fit in the world today, in this very much changing world that we live in, figuring out how your business can work with that, you're going to enjoy the people that you meet. You're going to enjoy the time you have with them, and then you're going to get stuff done on top of it. If you want to learn more about the Plutus Impact Summit, then you can sign up at plutusimpact.com, and you'll meet other people who will be attending, including the leaders and speakers that we have, as well as other attendees. And you'll be able to get the resources that you need and start this journey to the Impact Summit right now with tips and resources and everything you need to really make a difference in someone's life, including your own.
And if you want to understand how I was able to start a business based entirely on what's in my brain, the difference is that I have been able to cultivate the skill of articulating these things in my brain and turning it into services that people are willing to pay thousands of dollars for. So that's what we're going to be covering in the mastermind. We have 2 spots left. People filled up the spots pretty quickly. And so if you like today as a preview and you want to learn more about the mastermind afterwards, let me know. But basically, we tried to make it a no-brainer, and the people who signed up realized it was a no-brainer. We're offering it for $1,000. We offered it for $1,000. Today, the price is now $1,200 because those people who signed up got the benefit of the extra value. And today, like I said, we have 2 spots left. And so what we're covering in the mastermind is we're going to do a 4-week structure in person in April. And we're going to cover these particular topics. It's going to be every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern time for 90 minutes. 60 minutes is going to be content and structure and reviewing, and 30 minutes for Q&A. And so if you are someone who's like, you know what, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I have not put it on my priority list, you are now finding out well in advance to schedule out if you wanted to join in April, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that would lead into speaking at the summit. So the summit would be your capstone in May. And so we're looking forward to Petra Ann and Lucretia, like delivering these talks that they're going to work on for the next 3 months. And so that's going to be the mastermind structure live. But starting next week, once we finalize the roster, they're going to actually start getting homework assignments and deliverables and pre-work in February and March, so that when we get into the mastermind, like we're like rolling. So all that for $1,200, and that includes your 3-day pass to the summit. And the summit itself is $1,000. So you can do the math on that and figure out that this is a high value thing. The comparable things that I've seen people doing are they're charging at least $7,500 for the same thing. And honestly, I'm a better speaker than that. And I'm just saying that. So here is what we cover, what I teach when it comes to getting paid to speak. And so right now, I want you to take out a pen and paper if you don't have already. My crush people already know to always have a journal ready to go. One of the things I learned about speaking is that getting people to actually write things down makes it feel more tangible versus them just listening to you talk for an hour. So I want you to take a piece of paper right now, and I want you to write down get paid from top to bottom. Okay? And these are the 7 things that I have every person that I coach do in order to get paid to speak. So if we go back here, you'll see there's a little pop-up here. I have made over $1 million off of this skill. That is a real screenshot from my Kajabi. Kajabi is the platform I use to host all of my programming. This business has made $1 million since 2020. And the kicker on it is that I've kept all million. Okay. Mary just gave me some snaps here. Yes, there's a lot of people who tell you that they make millions of dollars, but I kept it. And I'm retired. So if you want to learn not only how to speak well, but speak so well that you can just keep the money and go to BTS concerts and make Harlan understand how crazy your love of K-pop is, then this is the right place for you. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly, and then we're just going to get straight into actually working on your plans today, like right now, in real time. All right, that's what you came here for. So here is the get paid framework. G, write this down. G stands for generate compelling content. Generate compelling content. So why did I use the word generate? It's because a lot of people spend too much time spinning their wheels on, oh, I'm not going to post this thing on social media. I'm not going to talk about this thing until it's perfect. What I figured out is that if you want to be a great speaker, you have to continuously generate not just like regular content or slop content, you have to generate compelling content and continue to test that to see what resonates most with people. You will not get there by continuing to just like brainstorm in your brain. Harley and I were just having this conversation actually right before this call. We're saying, what is going to compel people to buy a pass to the summit in May? And we figured out from the first set of emails that what resonated with people and what didn't. We figured out that saying, oh, just come to a summit and don't explain what the summit is, does not compel people. Telling people, come in May, I will guarantee that you will get your money times 10 is more compelling to people. And so I'm going to show you some examples later today of what in real time content that I've been getting from people when we put the call out to say, hey, we're looking for paid speakers. We got a lot of responses, and there's only 2 out of maybe 2 dozen that I felt compelled to reply back to them and say, hey, I want to learn more and I want to pay you. The vast majority, and this is not like a knock to anyone who submitted, is just say the vast majority of the responses I got made it feel like I had to do more work. That's not compelling to me. As an organizer of someone who is running this event, I do not want to have to spend more time having to go find you online and figure out what you talk about and figure out if you're credible and figure out if you've done this before. There's only 2 out of a dozen that gave me exactly what I wanted. And so we're going to talk more about that. E, evaluate your competition. Write this down. Evaluate your competition. True story. Out of the dozen responses that I got, so we put out a call to the Plutus list saying, hey, we're looking for speakers for the summit. Out of the dozen, about 8 of them felt like they were exactly the same. Meaning that there was 8 of them that all said that they were going to talk about financial trauma. Which, by the way, I'm so for that topic. Those of you who are in my Crush Your Money Goals crew know that I care about that topic a lot. Okay? But if I get 8 of them that all say they're talking about the same thing, how am I supposed to choose? So there has to be, as someone who is getting paid to speak, and I'm not just talking about speaking engagements now. Now I'm just talking about any business that you run, whether this is speaking or not. Have you carefully evaluated who else is your competition? And if you're saying, but I'm so special, I'm a unique snowflake, and there's nobody else like me, we are delusional. Okay. There are many other personal finance speakers other than me. There are many other people who are running masterminds other than me. So I have to be very clear and understand what else is the competition out there. I just told you guys earlier, I know that other people running a similar program to me are charging $7,500. And I'm charging $1,200. And so does that mean that mine is lower quality? No, it means that I'm retired and I decided that I want people who have skin in the game, but I don't need to like make a huge profit on it. And the purpose of me having these speakers is so that the next generation of personal finance leaders are well prepared to speak. That's my value proposition to people. But I know that because I've evaluated the other folks. All right, let's talk about T. T is tap your community. Write it down. Tap your community. I am doing this right now as we speak. Usually on our Monday calls, we have 3 or 4 people. And today we have 16. So I have 4x'd the amount of people who came on this call. Okay. How did I do that? I reached out to my own community and I said, hey, we're doing this session today. Can you show up? And what we're going to talk about in getting paid is that a lot of business owners, a lot of speakers, again, they like keep creating and perfecting the product before they put it out there versus saying, okay, I have a good enough thing to put out there. Let me go now, tap my community and ask them if this resonates. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm saying, okay, we have this framework. It's get paid, speak truth. Let's see if this resonates with you guys today. But how do we actually tap our community? How do we effectively go out to the folks and say, hey, you know what? I need your help, but also I'm going to provide you value. Right? Now let's talk about P. This is the one that gets people stuck every single time. Price the problem. So this one, I want you to like highlight, put like a heart around it, figure out what you want to do about this, right? Is that a lot of people make the mistake of saying, now that I've evaluated the competition and now I've evaluated the community, what do they want to pay? Versus saying, what do I want to get paid? And then how do I justify that price? Okay. So I'm picking on Harlan because we're just like having these conversations in real time right now. And Harlan is also like a very nice, vulnerable person. And so we've had these conversations, right, about the summit itself. This is the first time that the summit is being offered at the rate that we're offering it. And he said, how are we going to get people to come and pay this amount of money? And I said, Harlan, I have not had that problem. People are paying me that money, that amount right now, but we have to be clear on what they're getting for it. And how do I know that people are willing to pay $1,000 for things? Because I'm going to get that most of you have a phone that's cost $1,000. And none of you question the cost of the phone. So pricing the problem, there is an art to this. And there's also negotiation involved. It's also being very clear on the value without exaggerating. And it is also making sure that you are very transparent about what it is that you offer. Here's the thing that I make it really easy for my clients or people who are like on the fence about working with me. If I have someone who is just asking so many questions and is not clear about it, then I'll tell them two things. I'll say, okay, I think that this is for you or not for you based off of what you've told me so far. And I will be truthful with them. And I will tell them whether or not I really think it's going to be of value to them or not. But if I'm not sure about it, I tell people, if you feel like you didn't get your money's worth after we worked together, I will just give your money back. Why do you think I do that? Let's like in the chat, I would love to hear. If I'm just telling people, you know what, if it doesn't work for you, I'll just give you your money back. Then what is the problem really? Is it really about money? What is the problem really about then? It builds trust. Absolutely. That whether or not they really believe in what you do. And Melissa caught the right thing here. Believing in them, and Nikki said the right thing too. It eliminates the feeling of riskiness. And it's a matter of whether or not you're ready to commit. Now it's not about me. That's right. That's right. Any valid business, in my opinion, should be willing to give the money back if they did not deliver on the promise. So it's actually not difficult to price something if you take out the risk and say, you know what, if you're not happy with the results, and I'll just give the money back. Okay. So this actually happened with the summit, with the mastermind. Someone kept going back and forth and saying, I need to know more about this. I need to know more about that. I need to know more about this. I need to know more about that. And at that point, already like 5 people had signed up without seeing any of it. Because they were like, okay, I've seen your work before, Bernadette. $1,000 for all this value seems like a no-brainer to me. So I'm just going to sign up. But there's always, and I hate to say this, ladies, but it's always a woman who's, I need to know exactly what's going to happen. I need to know exactly how you're going to deliver it. I need to know this. I need to know that. I need to know this. I need to know that. And I sent an email and I said, if you think you can do these results without the mastermind, then you don't need the mastermind. That's what I said. I said, go watch my talk. Here's the talk. If you can deliver at this level without the mastermind, then you don't need the mastermind. Okay. Then she came back and said, I watched the talk. It was amazing. And I'm like fangirling right now. And I was like, this is awesome. Great. I'm so excited that you're excited about this. And then she said, but I still need to learn more of this. And I said, I'm offline. It's snowing today. I don't literally, if at this point it's not for you, then it's not for you. And that's okay. And I think part of the issue that we have with pricing the problem is that we're afraid that people are going to walk away. But the truth is, if people walk away after you have given a no-brainer value proposition, then they're not your client and they should walk away. You should want people to walk away. Okay. So we're going to get hella deep into price the problem in the speaker mastermind. That's not for today's discussion, but like I'm seeing some nodding of heads already. Like Lucretia is already, okay, I understand what I signed up for now. Okay, we're good. Okay. So here's the last three. And these will come more naturally as you build these first things. These are in the order it's meant to be. So A, amplify your online presence. Write that down. Amplify your online presence. What this does not mean that you're on every single platform and like doing TikTok dances if that's not who you are. I do not have a TikTok account and I never will. I still made $1 million somehow. Okay. What I'm going to be asking everyone to do is pick a platform and double, triple down on that. I would rather have you have one really good platform than a bunch of mediocre ones. So if you're a speaker, if you're a business owner, if you're someone who's speaking truth, pick one platform where that audience that is most likely to pay you. This is a difference. A lot of people tell you, oh, build your business and build your social media presence where you think people are that are hanging out. No, I need you to go to the place where you think your customers are most likely going to be. So if you're a speaker, it's probably LinkedIn or YouTube. Because organizers are looking at your LinkedIn or your YouTube to figure out if you're in fact a professional speaker. Okay, so if you have a shitty YouTube channel or you have a shitty LinkedIn channel, then that's not going to look great, which is what I actually did when I looked through the requests of people who said they were interested in speaking. I went to each of their individual LinkedIn profiles and their YouTube channels to see if they had evidence of being a paid speaker. If they did not, then I did not offer them a paid speaking gig. It's really that simple. If you are a product-based business, then maybe it's Instagram. If you are a writer or a freelance person, it's probably Twitter, actually. But what the mistake I'm seeing a lot of people do as they're growing businesses and incomes is they're like, oh, someone told me that I have to be like out there all the time everywhere. And that's not the case. So the other thing that I think is really important is that even before you build your own platform, how do you just go on other people's platforms? My favorite, showing my age, you down with OPP? What's the next line? See, I can see Lucretia mouthing it. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Melissa, say
I was on mute. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. Yes, Petra Ann too. All of us are around the same age. We know. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me, right? Victoria raising the roof. Oh my God, I just feel so old because I'm pretty sure Gen Zers do not do this, right? Like they do not know what the hell that is. Okay, so I digress. What I also prepare speakers for, and this is again for anyone who wants to make money speaking, who wants to make money selling your expertise, you have to be ready at any given point. So someone is unmuted again.
I think she told me that was it. Okay. But it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Someone mute yourself. Okay. Let me ask this real question, y'all. And this, I'm not trying to flex here. If right now I were to offer you to be on national television tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., would you be ready? I see a bunch of no's. Does anyone say yes? Did anyone say yes?
I mean, I would do it, but I would do my hair first.
I need a haircut. Actually, my haircut is at 9. So
And my hair appointment is tomorrow afternoon.
yeah, my haircut is at 9 a.m. This is what I look like right now.
Yeah.
I could do it because this isn't my first rodeo with you.
You say that again?
I could do it because it's not my first rodeo with you.
Because I've actually made you do this. I've actually made her get on TV.
And I went on with no makeup and hair done. So
yes,
that was a mistake.
Yes.
It was fine.
So here's the truth, is if you are someone who is qualified to get paid to speak, you should be ready to speak at any given moment. Because we don't know when the opportunity is going to come. My crush people hear me say this shit all the time. You don't know when your next break is going to show up. So are you ready when it does? Okay. Facts. Last week, I was on both local and national television. I was up at sorry, excuse my voice. I really felt this way. I was up at 6 a.m., okay, to be on News Nation, okay, for a 6:45 call. They asked me the afternoon before about a topic that I didn't know about. And I said, yep, we'll be there with my hair done at 6 a.m. Okay. The topic was, what are my thoughts on Trump's proposal to cut credit card interest rates to 10% for the next year? Do you think I wanted to be up at 6 a.m. talking about Trump? No. Okay. However, I thought it was important for now, like, again, this is not about politics or anything like that, but I was like, you know what? They don't have very many liberal lefty ladies on that show. So guess who's going to show up and talk about my thoughts on this topic, right? So what did I have to do the night before? I had to read up on all of the stuff. I had to prepare my talking points. I didn't just show up and wing it. And a lot of us are just showing up and winging it. But I have a structure of what I know what a news segment looks like. I know how I have to be succinct about it. I know that I have to know my stuff. And I have to be able to look at the camera and do it and not at my notes. But I take that same vibe and I bring that into my consultations. I bring that into my speaking gigs. I bring that into my podcast interviews. I don't just show up and just rely on my charm to get me paid. Okay. So teaching you how to amplify your online presence and make sure that you are qualified to be on national press, then you know what? Landing a one-on-one coaching client is really not that hard. You see where I'm going with that? Okay. The last two things. Increase your income streams. When I say increase your income streams, again, what everyone does is that they just try to do a million things instead of being really good at the one income stream. And so what I teach a lot of my clients, my business clients, is be good at one thing first before you go do something else. And so very basic structure that I talk about in speaking is that you have your speaking, and at the end of every talk, there should be a QR code to go somewhere to get to know more about you. You're not going to sell someone from a one-time speaking gig. And also, if you are on stage and you do get paid on the front end, then you also have an opportunity to make money on the back end. But sometimes it is worth it to take a low or no paid speaking gig because you know you can make up the difference on the back end. And so what are you offering at the end of that talk? So lesson today, if you are speaking currently right now and you don't have a QR code that goes to somewhere to either your newsletter or a low ticket offer after that speaking gig, you already fucked up. Like you already lost out on monies. If you're just saying, hey, after this talk, I would love if you just email me your random questions or follow me on Instagram or whatever, then guess what? You just lost out money. True story, there's someone in our current cohort. So a lot of the folks here saw me last night because we do our cohort 8 o'clock at night. And now they're here at 12 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. One of them is Yesenia. And you know how she found me? She saw me speak at South by Southwest 3 years ago. And now she is in my program 3 years later. You know why? Because she's been reading my newsletters since 3 years ago. Because at the end of my talk, I said, here's my newsletter. Come follow me on my newsletter. And also, I highly do not recommend that you tell people to just follow you on a platform that you do not have control over. So if after a talk, you're saying, go follow me on Instagram, we saw what happened with TikTok when it was going to get shut down for a day. You have to be driving people into a platform that you have control over, likely a newsletter, a free guide, a course, something that you have control over. All right. And the last piece is defeat doubt. So that's the last piece here. So what I just talked about earlier, if you have all this in place, you actually will already feel more confident if you go and speak. So let's just assume that you listened to Bernadette and you were generating compelling content regularly so that you knew what people really resonated with. You already know who your competition is and you know how you're better. You've already tapped 10 people in your community and you know that this stuff works. You've priced the problem. You have a contract. You have your negotiation talking points. You have one really killer website or social media presence that you know converts. You have your newsletter or your lead magnet or your guide or your course to sell people after you get paid. Then what are we afraid of at this point? But you know what a lot of women are doing? They're like, oh, but I have imposter syndrome. Listen to me. Instead of having everything in place where it becomes undeniable that you deserve to be on that stage. Okay. So now we are going to get into this little exercise right now in real time. So get ready. I'm going to pull up my screen here. Remember I said, if you're really qualified to get paid to speak, you should be ready to go at any time. And that means right now. Okay. Because guess what? I have paid speaking opportunities at the Plutus Summit. Okay. So it is 12:33 my local time. You have 2 minutes to prepare yourself to pitch. You're going to get 30 seconds. And I'm going to randomly be calling on people. So you don't know if I'm going to call on you or not. Petra Ann put her water down. She's okay, hold on. So I get called on here. 3 options. Why should I hire you as a paid speaker for Plutus right now? So you'll be speaking. Why I should hire you as a coach right now, or if you're not a coach, as like your business, whatever your business is, like Marie as an interior designer, Nikki as a therapist, whatever, right? Or why should I invest in your business right now? Those are your 3 options. Why I should hire you as a paid speaker. Why I should hire you as a business. I'll put this as a business right now. Or why I should invest in your business. These are all, by the way, 3 real opportunities right now, because I am indeed an angel investor. I am indeed hiring people to speak at the Pluto Summit. I am indeed looking for people to take me on as a client, as crazy as I am. Okay. So 2 minutes. And then we're going to call on people randomly. You're going to unmute yourself and you're going to give your pitch. Okay. Y'all ask for it. While you guys are doing that, Melissa asked a question in the chat. Do organizers look at podcast interviews as speaking things? And I said, it's better than nothing. But I know, as someone who's done, 1,000 podcast things, that being on a podcast or hosting a podcast is not the same as being a great stage speaker. I think other people will agree to that. So an ideal world is you have proof of you speaking on stage, which is why for the speaker mastermind, people who are doing the speaker mastermind will get video proof of them speaking at Plutus that they can then use for their speaker reels.
Bernadette, you said the masterminds were in person. Do you mean virtual in person or in Charlotte?
Great question. So the speaker mastermind specifically, there's going to be other masterminds that are going to be coming out that are not speaker ones. Speaker mastermind specifically, people are going to start getting homework assignments for that starting next week. They're going to start getting homework assignments for me starting next week. We're going to go into live masterminds in group like this, just like we're doing today, and starting in April, Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon. And then the group will be meeting together at the summit. So y'all will be like a little crew. So you're not going to go to the summit without some friends there, and they're going to be presenting at the summit. All right, let me give you an example of the pitch. And then we'll start calling on random people. So if you want to practice now, be on camera. Okay. All right. Hello. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Okay, let me try again. Hello, I am Bernadette Joy. I am the founder and owner of Crush Your Money Goals. I just retired at 40 with $2.1 million in net worth. $1 million of that has been made from my speaking business. And so if you are a content creator, a consultant, or a coach who is tired of the AI slop and you want to be in community with people like me, we have brought together a masterful list of mentors who have all done the same. They've either reached a million, made a million, or kept a million, and they are ready to coach you May 6th to 8th at the Plutus Summit. You can check it out at plutussummit.com, and we have 2 spots left for the mastermind at $1,200. Grab them now. I just made that shit up right now. I don't know. So I don't know who clocked me. Probably 30 seconds. Okay. This does not have to be complicated. Right? So what is it? What did you learn from me saying that? Again, I didn't actually decide that I was going to do that until a minute ago. But what did you learn from just listening to me do that? It wasn't perfect.
I think the fact that you were just ready to do it. Like,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah. Confidence is 80% of the game here, y'all. But what information did you get out of me from that? Who we are, how I can find you, absolutely. What the value proposition is, why this is different from other conferences. And I was very clear. I wasn't like, oh, and then I don't know about the price. I don't know if this is I'm like, it's $1,200. Sign up now or get out of here. Now, you don't have to be this vibe. Like, you don't have to be as like abrasive as I am. But the point is, if you are unsure about your price, then so will everyone else. Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for laughing at me. Okay. So let's do some, you know what, Harlan? I'm going to call on you because not to pitch, but I'm biased because I know a lot of the people here. Why don't you pick so it's a little bit more random?
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Some names I know, some names are new to me. Hello, everybody. I would randomly love to hear from Nikki.
Okay. Let's go, Nikki. Nikki, you're so fine.
Hi, everyone. I am Nikki. I am a mother of 2 and registered nurse, and I hope that you are interested in KK's Natural Cleansing Bars. I started this business due to my daughter's eczema, and I just feel like natural properties of breast milk in there, as well as oatmeal, helps with antimicrobials, helps with eczema, skin irritants, great for sensitive skin. You can use this from birth to the elderly. I was selling my bars at $15 a bar, and the natural properties will help you in your skin concerns.
Great.
You can check me out on Instagram. Thank you.
Good job. Next, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep rolling. Pick another one, Harlan.
Okay, let's go Monica M.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Mine is just so out of the box. Hello, my name is actually Marina Zurich. I'm here as my pseudonym, and I am the founder of Media Zurich and main writer for the Cozy Core Mystery Series, which is a young adult series. Cozy, which means no sex, no violence, none of that other adult stuff. In my series, our main character, the hapless Corporal Tenney, brand new Marine security guard, is shocked and embarrassed to find out that his first duty station is to be at the National Museum of the Marine Corps instead of an embassy overseas. Little does he know that his mission involves finding missing birthday cakes, missing mascots, the National Eagle, and stolen valor. But I'm stumbling here. During the course of these books, Kenny will exhibit classic Marine Corps traits like honor, courage, commitment, justice, decisiveness, tact, and I am hoping that you will invest in this series because I think it is a way to influence youth who may or may not have that kind of guidance from a parent or authority figure that they can trust. But you know how much people love reading and what they get out of it. So thank you for surprising me and listening. We appreciate you.
Good job. Good job. All right. Pick another one, Harlan.
Okay, Alyssa, let's hear from you.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I am a licensed attorney, although I don't practice law, and I'm also a CFP, so Certified Financial Planner. And I have been obsessed with personal finance since I was a teen. And invested my family money to become millionaires. And through the years, we're helping friends and family, and that inspired me to now help other people. So I do offer pro bono advising to savvy ladies, and I also have my own financial planning firm, which is Amplify My Wealth. And I am not your regular financial planner that most people think of. So I really do a deep dive. Some would argue, my clients would argue that I do a little coaching also along the way and guide my clients so they can do things and make informed decisions on their own with knowledge rather than having someone mansplain to them. So I help you through everything. Right now, a financial plan with access to me for 1 year is only $3,600, but I am literally working with someone on my marketing and my website, and that will be going up soon. So if you're interested, go to amplifymywealth.com and schedule a complimentary consultation. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job. All right. Harlan, do one more because it's fun.
One more. Okay, then
Yeah.
Kevin, you're up.
All right. My name is Kevin Matthews II. I am a financial advisor, but before I started as an advisor, I was a teacher, which means that I love to explain and I love to make things extremely simple. But as an advisor, and the thing that makes me different rather, is that everything that I've done, I teach to you. I've managed over $140 million. And the things that I teach, these are things that, like when I manage millionaire clients, I make sure that you get that exact same information. It's not things that I've just done for myself, that these things have worked in the past. And I'm writing an upcoming book called Your Parents Are Wrong About Money. So it's going to be something that is extremely exciting and comes out next year in January 2027. So I'm excited to write that. And it's also the reason why the things that I teach and the things that I talk about is why my channel has 1.4 billion views. So the things we teach, the things I talk about, the things that I advise has traction. And it's why you can talk to me at buildingbread.com/callkev.
Good job. Yay. All right, let's give everyone a round of applause because that was like, they didn't know that was happening today. Welcome to real life, y'all. This is what really happens. Someone can just pop in your inbox and say, hey, I need a speaker tomorrow and I have $5,000. Can you do it? Because that's really happened to me before. Okay. I would love to hear in the chat, what did you pick up? Either things that you found memorable, things that you think people did really well. Like, what did you learn just from hearing these couple of folks? Drop those in the chat for me. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up my slides. Made sure to give their info to know where to reach them, their story. I'm always listening for their outcomes for clients. Nikki, what a great product. I learned about where they could find their product service. I like the why stated in Nikki's pitch. Need to be succinct and speak to the value, good calls to action, and clear description of what they do. Okay. So for those of you who did not get to speak, this is your today. And then for those of you who did get to speak, you get to like tweak. Okay. So this is the kind of energy you need to have if you want to be a paid, well, business person. You need to be ready on your A game at any point in time. Okay. That's like number one lesson today. So here is where I want you to take what you were preparing today. And even if we never meet again, I hope you got value out of today's session, which is if you're trying to get paid to do whatever it is that you're doing, you need to be able to say what you do well in 30 seconds or less. Okay. So here is what I love this because you guys played out my slides exactly as they were, because this is the most common things that people do. Okay. So here are the things I need you to look out for. 5 surefire ways to suck. This is what to avoid. All right. And nobody sucked. Everyone was great, but there's definitely room for improvement. Okay. So first thing is that likely you buried the lead. So what do I mean by that? Let them know what is the hook up front and don't take so much time to warm up. Be like, hi, I'm Bernadette Joy. I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm Bernadette Joy. I'm fucking retired. Okay. Now I looked while everyone was speaking. And it took at least 10 seconds before I started seeing some nodding heads in every talk. So I noticed that like people started laughing or started nodding their heads when Alyssa said, I don't like the mansplaining. She could have started off and said, hey, are you tired of mansplaining in personal finance? But it took how long for her to get there? Right? Kevin said, I had this many under assets. I have 1.4 billion views on YouTube, and I'm writing a book. That was buried. He could have started and said, hey, I'm Kevin. I have 1.4 billion views on YouTube. I've managed however many $1 million in assets, and I have a book coming out, and it's called Your Parents Were Wrong About Money. Because we can all agree about that shit. But it was at the end. So most of us have to flip our talking points. Whatever is the hook, this is like an Instagram thing. You have to start off with a good hook in the first 3 seconds or people will keep scrolling. The same thing works for speaking. Right? Nikki, she's like, hi, I'm a mom of 2. And I'm like, I'm great. I'm like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about right now? But if she said, hey, I'm Nikki, I'm the owner of this firm and I do these things for eczema. Guess who has eczema? And honestly, I love kids, don't get me wrong. I'm like, but does it matter to me whether or not you have kids or that you have a product that works? Okay. All right. Next. You have no structure. So typically, and we're going to talk about this and get paid to speak, is that humans will remember stories better than just talking points. So one of my biggest accomplishment in all the world is not that I did a TED Talk, is not that I wrote a book that was on Oprah's list or whatever. It was that I won my 5th grade storytelling contest. I had to memorize a long ass story and say it in front of people on stage as a 10-year-old. And I learned at 10 years old that if you are a really good storyteller, then people will remember it. But if you come up and you really sound more like you're pitching them, or it sounds more, hello, I am so-and-so, people will tune out. And a story doesn't have to be like an actual like story. It can be, hey, I'm Bernadette Joy. I retired with $2.1 million and $1 million of that was made through speaking. That's a story. So what's the story that we're leading off with? Okay. Next, number 3. You try to be clever over clear. So and I'm saying this to a lot of women specifically, we're like, we need to sound smart. We need to sound smart and use big words and tell people how smart I am. And that's what's going to make them buy from me. Versus economy of words, using less words to be clear. So everyone who just spoke, we could probably have taken their same things and delivered it. If they had more time and practice, they probably could have delivered the same thing in less amount of time with more impact and fewer words. I am doing comedy right now. I'll be doing a comedy set on February 24th if you're in Charlotte and want to come see this disaster. What I learned about comedy is that fewer words is funnier. The same thing works in speaking. Fewer words is more impactful. So if you find yourself saying a lot to get through what you're going to say, that's probably not as effective. Okay, number 4, you got the timing wrong. I'm pretty sure everyone was over 30 seconds. I did not get to time everyone, but I'm pretty sure everyone was over 30 seconds. And Heather was there, and who else was there? Harlan was there. We hosted like a little get together. I made everyone go get boba and talk about personal finance here in Charlotte when Harlan was in town, and asked everybody to go around and did the exact same exercise. Introduce yourself for 30 seconds, and not a single person was under like 2 minutes. And you know what organizers absolutely hate? People who fuck up their schedule. Because they did not rehearse, they did not practice, they just think, I'm on stage now, so I'm just gonna take all the time I want. Let me be clear. I am organizing this year's Plutus. I will have that Apollo hook, because I used to watch Apollo at night. I will have that hook, and I will drag you off stage if you are over time. Because I run a tight-ass ship. So the best thing you can do to respect the organizers and the people who are listening to you is to respect their time and say, if you're going to deliver a 10-minute talk, it better be 10 minutes. One of my gripes, don't get me wrong, I love FinCon, but FinCon never kept people on time on their talks. And I always made sure to stay on time. Okay. Next, last one. You expect perfect on the first try. Okay. So none of these were perfect, including mine. What was better? You said something rather than nothing at all. Okay. A good paid speaker, and this is what I was looking for when I was looking at the submissions that came for speaking. If they said they were a paid seasoned speaker, my expectation was that they had a sizzle reel and they had evidence of this talk already. I didn't want any new talks. I didn't want people testing out their talks at my conference when there are people who already have said, I've delivered this talk several times. It works really well for this particular audience, and I know it's going to crush it at your event. That's what I was looking for if I was going to pay you. For me, if someone comes to me, if I had the same exact questions that were sent to me by Plutus saying, hey, what do you want to talk about? And why do you think this is going to resonate? I would have sent my speaker reel. I would have sent the exact presentation of what I plan to present with the exact description tailored to personal finance creators and tell them, I've already delivered this talk at least a dozen times. It crushes. Here is my contract, pay me. But I could tell that people were making stuff up. As an organizer, why would I pay for something that is untested? Right? Now, that's cool when you're doing free gigs. I'm all for going out and doing free gigs and testing things out. But when you're asking to be paid, you better have practiced. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into more of this type of stuff in the mastermind. If you are still interested, I'm going to wrap up. Look at me. I'm at 2 minutes under. I am on time as well. So I appreciate you guys for coming. If you like this vibe, we're going to do 3 more sessions. Next, we're going to talk about how to crush your money goals as a business owner. Then we're going to talk about how to make more money in less time. And then the last one, we're going to talk about the truth funnel. If you have a funnel, a marketing funnel, and it's just not vibing right now, or the algorithm has fucked up your whole marketing thing, then you should come check that out. These are all free thanks to Harlan. So everyone should give a round of applause to Harlan because he is making this possible. Okay? Because I ain't showing up here for free. I'll tell you that much, guys. Okay? So I am going to let you guys go. If you have questions, I'm going to stay back for any questions. If you're interested in joining, you can go ahead and sign up for a spot. I put the link down here. Let me put it here again. This is for the summit. There is an option there to pay for the mastermind. It's the $1,200 option. And so if you want to grab those spots, go ahead and grab them. If we end up at capacity, then I will immediately refund you today. If you just want to come to the summit, a lot of you already bought your tickets. Awesome. Then continue to come. And then if you haven't bought your passes yet, today's the day, y'all. I highly recommend that you buy a pass today and commit to showing up. All right. We're right at 1 o'clock. Bye.